we are on to our planning board meeting. Is there a meeting or there is a motion to open the meeting of the Holyoke Planning Board for March 11th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Second,
All
I'm
in
sorry.
favor?
All right. Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Grinder,
Yes.
Rosanna,
Yes, ma'am.
and Paul.
Yes.
Okay, we are open, and the first few items on our agenda, we are skipping over because we continued, but the discussion of the 37 Appleton garage with special permits. And we are also skipping over the large-scale BESS for convergent energy. We are skipping over short-term rentals. And that brings us to number 7, site plan review modification for New Leaf EV, Waiting Farms EV charging. And the associated reduction of parking special permit modification. So,
Do we want to see the site plan review NOD or the special permit first?
are we ready for it?
Yep.
Then let's do it.
So again, in keeping with, the spirit of what was already or previously approved, would say the Tesla installation.
Yeah.
Some of this will be similar, but at the end of the day, just bearing in mind that this is, the board's decision, and the draft items are just those that were found either as somewhat standard or found within the, throughout the correspondence, meetings, discussions, letters, and whatnot. The only other one I did add as a new condition item there under number 3 is that when publicizing with Turley, it turns out that even though we bill the applicant, if the applicant does not pay, they still run it, but then they charge us for it months later. So I'm entertaining number 3 as a new condition item that you're all going to see in every future draft decision, because we've had to now pay for a couple ads because of failure to pay, and no real way to get repaid for that. And it may not be so much planning board stuff. It could also be Board of Appeals stuff. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there. Obviously, again, it's your decision, so that also can just as easily be removed.
Yeah, no, I think given the state of the city's finances, it makes sense to have some kind of enforcement mechanism for this. I know Turley is really generous with their fee structure as compared to, say, the Springfield Republican, but we can't just keep extending this as a professional courtesy until we know better what our tax levies are like. So unless anyone else objects, I'm in favor of adding it as a regular condition.
Sounds good.
I'm okay with that.
Wait, and we didn't have to have findings here because this is a modification of a previous plan. Okay.
We did the findings already, and I don't think that this is enough of a change so that we need new ones.
Okay.
Which makes it easy. Is there a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Grinder,
Yes.
Rosanna,
Yes, ma'am.
does Paul vote? For this?
No, he wasn't here
No.
for the
Okay, just want to make sure.
hearings.
Gotcha.
And you get the reduction in parking.
Yes.
They're not there? Oh,
No. Thought we put it in there.
no, it should be. So go back to the main file, please. I'm sorry. I can look up over here as well.
It's okay.
I know it's there. Because there should be two folders, one for New Leaf parking right there. One up.
Yep.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not in here.
Let me throw it in there real quick. My apologies. I could have swore I added it. Let me just
Maybe got added to.
special permits.
You have to remember way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, it's there. If you go to well, at least what on my screen, if you go to New Leaf EV parking reduction modification. Are you under 3? Go back to the main,
Gotcha.
yeah. Parking right
Right
there.
here?
Yep.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
And then under there. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we need findings.
Right, because previously there hadn't, for this site, I believe that, especially where the second hotel was never built, this special permit was necessary because now they were going below the reduce, what would have been required. That makes sense, but
Should be able to do a fairly boilerplate set of findings because we're only reducing it by one parking spot.
right.
If that hotel ever gets built, presumably some people will have electric vehicles and use this.
Yeah.
But
I think those findings look fine.
yeah, I think we actually may have done this last time and then put off the vote. Either that or these are findings that we've been using routinely for the new charging stations.
On number 6, I missed A between the have and the positive.
Yes.
Wait, this reduction also was so that there can be fully accessible charging spot too, right?
Yeah, there's a handicapped spot.
We could maybe add that to number 1. And allows for the addition of a fully accessible
Yeah.
charging station.
Addition of.
Oh,
Fully accessible.
parking space, right?
Charging station.
Charging station.
It allows for the addition of an accessible. So
Yes.
Yeah, change that to addition like it's suggested. Yeah. And then are the conditions basically the same as what we saw before, right?
Yeah.
I move that we approve this special permit modification for reduction of parking.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Gurinder,
Yes.
and Rosanna.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We're done with that part of the agenda. This brings us up to planning board business and a tricky question, which is, I understand that we do have the need for an executive session tonight. And I am going to just ask Jane as our counsel whether our new associate should be sitting in on this or not.
Yeah, he can sit on it.
I'm sorry?
Can I make a suggestion,
sorry.
Mimi?
Yes.
Can we do could we do old business, new business first? Because I think some of the people who are here for some of those items, the amendment items, and then we can deal with their issues and let them go home before we go into executive session.
Yes, that seems extremely fair. I was considering whether we needed to let Gerninger out early, but he is not the only person here. So, Gerninger, are you okay with this?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't unmute myself. I'm in the car, I know, but I'm not driving. I just want to let you know. So I'm
Okay.
good with that. Thank you.
Okay, then let us take this out of order. And that would bring us up to project updates, old business, new business. And first up, we have the wind development signage package for NOD number 18.
Hi, my name is Andy Clark from Expose Signs. I'm representing Wind Development in this hearing. I just apologize briefly. The normal account manager is on vacation, so I get to step in, and I appreciate the board hearing us. And I guess I should ask Jeff or whether they can share the proposed amendments or the updated plan, or do I need to share that?
Brianna, can you please open up the Win folder?
Yep.
Thank you.
I think it's really just a clarification of locations and of what was previously submitted. But it probably will show it more accurately. And happy to answer any kind of questions. Okay, so here we have two sets of lettering that's going to be mounted on the edge of the canopy to the primary entrance of each one of these each one of the building locations. Just stating the name of the property. Can you move to the next slide? We have two blade elements. One is on the Appleton building, and the other one is on the oh my goodness, drawing a blank.
Is it Essex?
The 5 Essex
Yeah,
building.
one is on the yes, the on the leasing center, and the other one is on the other entrance along up the Alpaca Mills portion there. So this one is mounted on the proposed community center in a separate building. And it's just to identify that this is the primary entry point for the for people coming to the property. And then this shows the proposed location on the building. It's relatively small blade sign. Blocking and structure has been approved. So it gets mounted directly to the facade there.
Nice handsome sign.
Yeah, so and the next is out on the main road there, where, and this is, as you can see that, this is another blade sign. It's a fabric sign. Because there is no real great spot for any kind of ground sign or entry sign to this property. It was determined through this that we're using these two building signs. And it just identifies the property along that main thoroughfare. Again, relatively small, and mounted, I think all the bylaws in terms of elevation off the sidewalk and area and things like that. So just clarifying it a little bit better in terms of what we previously submitted. It's one single two-sided banner on those brackets.
Anyone from the board have any comments or questions?
Just want hear from Jeff to make sure meets everything that he's seeing.
Well,
mean,
for
they
what
look
it's
good.
worth, they're allowed to go to 75 square feet, and I mean, these themselves are like 30 and a half thereabouts, and even the other signs are well below the 75 by right. The only question I have to Andy is, where do you stand with the right of encumbrance over the public right of way? In particular, this sign, or, have you reached out, or has someone reached out to DPW to get that permit because it's overhanging the sidewalk?
I apologize to the board. I am not exactly I don't have that that information on here. I know I know it's been part of the review. My belief is that it was already we've already been through that step here. But I would have to double check and send an email back to you, Jeff, to confirm that, if I may.
Thank you. I was just to confirm, because otherwise, I do believe you need that. I don't know. I haven't heard where you are in the process. So again, I would just advise that if you haven't done it, you or one of your other people need to reach out to them to get that approved.
Absolutely agree with that. And so obviously Win and us want to make sure that everything is, all I's are dotted, T's crossed. So I will bring that, I will find that out, and I think Amy Thompson has been the contact submitting this permit with you, and I will make sure that she updates you on that tomorrow.
Very good. Thank you.
I'm really excited for this project and thank you for investing in our city. I think this is going to be amazing. So I appreciate you. Just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, I appreciate the support. Win really does a lot of great development. I think we're over in Ludlow. Mill 10, Mill 9 is a great example of this. This is really our specialty is transferring these mill structures into really not just functional housing, but really beautiful housing that people are proud of. So I think you all will be really pleased with the result. I think in Springfield, we just finished a project last fall as well, so really is, I'm glad your support.
We love these. We've seen some of the interiors and it just looks beautiful. So anyway, Jeff, do we need a formal vote on this?
Technically, no. Under the notice of decision item, all they needed to do was come back to review and approve. and they're not seeking a special permit. So this was more or less just an update to satisfy a notice of condition item.
Well, it's great to see.
Yeah, so I would
Thank
just say as long as Andy, as long as you can get Jeff the approval from DPW, it seems like, in my opinion, we're all set.
Absolutely. I will check in with that when I get back to the office tomorrow. And just find out where that stands. But I would assume that we are done with that, but I'm very
Yeah.
sorry that I don't have that information for you right now.
It happens. Well, it sounds like we're all set, and we will look forward to getting that information, and we'll look forward to seeing the building open up.
Great. Thank you very much. And thank you, board.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, next, site plan review amendment for sign for file number 101B, Daruma, a Japanese barbecue and sushi.
So I'm not sure if anyone's coming for this one or not. If
I
so,
saw
I
this
know.
on Facebook. This is interesting. Looks nice.
well, I'm not sure if they're coming or not, because I think I represented to them that I could also answer to it. This is more or less a simple amendment, just that when this was originally approved as an Applebee's, all of its signs were part of the approval package. And then later it became what was it, Whip City Brewery, and then they later amended to make that approval. So now this is now becoming Daruma, as you can see. It measures 36 square feet, less than what would be required. Again, this is more or less just almost it is an amendment, unlike the other one, which was just satisfying a notice of decision, in light of the fact that the way this was approved, that sign was under that review and approval. So this would be one where if we could have the board approve it, that would be great, as it was filed as a site plan review amendment. So thinking that the board approves of this, for what it's worth. This is the only sign. It's southerly facing Lower Westfield Road. And it's within the compliance of the ordinance.
Yeah, this looks fine to me. Does anyone else have any questions, comments?
Nope, that sounds okay to me. I pass by not every other day from there. I saw that.
So if we're gonna vote, I'll make a motion that we approve this site plan review amendment.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Gurinder,
Yes,
and Rosanna.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then finally, under project updates, old business, new business. SPR amendments for library comments, phase 2, file 159. That's building building B at 344 Appleton Street, building C at 188 and 190 Chestnut Street, and building D, 207 Elm Street. And it's been a while since we looked at this. What's new and fascinating?
Jason Newman would be who we would be looking for. I don't know about the others, but Jason would be a contact.
Okay, well,
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, thank you for making time for us tonight. So I guess I can just, for everybody's general information, give an overview of where the project is. You know, it's been a long, challenging road for this project to get the proper funding to get it built, but we're finally at the finish line. Originally designed, I believe, in 2018. It's been designed for several years. It's been trying to get through the state funding system, and our client Wayfinders has finally been successful. The board last saw this project in 2023, which was the second time it was presented. And the board approved the 3 sites, building B, building C, and Building D, which are respectively 188 to 190 Chestnut Street, 207 Elm Street, and 344 Appleton Street. So we're back in front of you today because through the course of finalizing the project budget and getting this thing to a point where closing can proceed, we've made minor changes to the 4 sites as it pertains to the site materials and as it pertains to some of the building materials. And those are identified in the narrative and the marked up drawings that we've presented to you in the application materials. If I'm able, I can share my screen, or I'm not sure if the board's already reviewed these items.
You can share your screen if you can. You're all
All
set.
right. What? Oh. I'm sorry, one moment. I'm just trying to get my desktop to connect. All right. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Is everybody now seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about the hiccup here. I'm remote on dad duty, so I'm talking on my phone and I'm presenting from my desktop. So I apologize for the hiccup. But I'm going to generally talk about all 3 sites because the nature of the changes are all the same. So we've presented 3 separate applications as it is, or amendments as it is 3 separate applications. We've provided a narrative for the 3 sites, but just generally running through them. As it pertains to the sites, one of the changes that we've made relative to materials is we've reduced the amount of concrete sidewalks at the interior of the site. So we have some pedestrian walkways, which you'll see in a moment on the site plans, which have been changed from concrete to asphalt. Bear in mind that all of the public city sidewalks at the perimeter of these sites will remain concrete to keep with the continuous material at the street. We have made some minor revisions to the curbing materials at the drive entrances of these sites. Those have been changed to granite transition curbs, which is actually a better material. So that is an improvement to the detailing of that particular construction feature. We've added some tapering curbs at the ramps, again, similar to the nature of what we are just talked about. And the big change here is, of course, the energy code has changed through the course of this project's design life. So we've incorporated EV parking stations at all 4 sites, or excuse me, at all 3 sites, as is required by the energy code. But the overall number of parking spaces at each of these sites has not changed. And last but not least, some of these sites, and I'll point this out in more particularly in a moment on the site plans, we've made some minor revisions to the fencing. In some cases, we had fencing that was overlapping, where we had one type of fence going in front of another. We've more or less just cleaned that up so it's a more a cleaner presentation of these fencing materials, specifically around dumpster enclosures. Generally speaking, in terms of building elevations, really the primary change here is we previously had 2 types of siding on the building. We had shake siding and we had horizontal clapboard siding. And we've just changed the proportions of those types of siding. In the previous version, we had a lot more shake siding. But as a value engineering exercise, We've reduced the amount of shake siding on the sides and at the rear of the building. We've maintained it on the front of the building, so the street facing side of the building, but elected to go with more horizontal clapboard siding as a value engineering exercise. So just quickly spinning through the plans. We've provided 2 versions of each drawing. We've provided the elevations that were presented and the last approval of the project. And we've provided the updates. So what you're seeing in red here are the changes in the siding materials. For example, this gable end here at the side of the building was previously shakes. It is now clapboard. The same can be said of this area here. And with that change, we've also revised the corner trim from a PVC to a vinyl. So, minor changes in the siding. Again, you'll see here the street facing elevation. We've maintained that shake siding at those kind of hierarchical pieces of the building. We felt that was important to maintain the character of the building to the street. But again, where we needed to save some money to make this project feasible, we have revised those shake siding areas on the back and sides of the building to be clapboard. Relative to site, the blue indicates the site as presented and approved in 2023. And this identifies the changes to the site. So over here, we've changed some of these interior walkways and some of our equipment pads to hot asphalt. The bike pad here is changed to hot asphalt. And we have introduced EV parking to all 4 sites identified here on this particular site, which is building B. But overall, the overall site plan minus the integration of EV has not changed. It's really just a change in site materials. So I'll ask the board if is it easier for me to go through all 3, or do you want to pause at the end of each site for any questions?
Does the board have any thoughts? I would say let's just keep going and we can ask any questions at the end.
Very good. Happy to do so. So rolling into Site 3, Building C, which is 207 Elm. I'll just quickly go to the drawings. I've provided the same narrative for every application. So the first sheets are consistent among all 3 applications, but the specific items are broken out by building, as you can see by these headings. So again, you'll see similar to Building B that we just reviewed. Here is the elevations of the building as presented in 2023. You'll see again that shake siding up at the eave. What we have changed is, of course, going to the clapboard at the eaves, the clapboard at the back of the building, and of course, maintaining the shake siding at the front of the building, with additionally some changes in the trim materials at the corners where we've gone to the clapboard siding. So here is the site plan for 207 Elm, which is Building C, as presented in 2023. Again, the same changes as we've talked about prior with the change in materials. The unique one relative to this site is we have stopped this ornamental metal fence at the top of the ramp. And this is, again, kind of referencing my comments at the beginning of the call, where we had a guardrail that is code required for the ramp that is beyond the fence. And then we have a fence going in front of it. So it created this weird kind of double fence situation. So what we've decided to do is just to remove this one section of fence directly in front of that ramp and allow the ramp guardrail to act as our fence in that condition, which ended up being in our opinion, a much cleaner look to the front of the building.
If I can just ask, this is the building where you were rescuing the old decorative iron fence?
I'm sorry, Mimi, could you repeat that for me?
I think there was one of these buildings where we did a site visit and there was just a beautiful old fence there. And some of it was not rescuable, but some of it was. And there was a discussion about using it for, again, one of these structures. And I was curious whether this is an interruption in that decorative iron fence or whether this was a new fence and it's just a relocation.
Yes, so on to site Appleton Street, because this is the building that we were talking about. So 344 Appleton Street, and because you asked the question, I'll jump right to it. The fence that you are describing is this fence along Elm Street here, where we have that existing beautiful ornamental fence that runs on the north side of the site. And so that has not changed. We're still maintaining that fence, and it wraps along the front of the building as well. So that part of the work has not changed. The fencing, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to question your earlier fencing. I was just making sure that I pictured it accurately. I mean, the logic seems very, shall we say, logical. You don't need two fences there.
Correct. So no, your memory is quite good, but yes, that is still maintained in this work. So again, at the Appleton Street property, the one fencing change we made here, the same nature of not having double fencing. We had a chain link fence represented here by the line with the dots, I guess, conceptual posts in this plan that ran behind the dumpster enclosure. We shortened up that fence because we have a wooden dumpster enclosure that surrounds all three sides, the sides and the back of the dumpster enclosure with gates on the front. Again, it didn't seem logical to us to have a chain link fence and then a wood fence, 12 inches behind it. So we've shortened that chain link fence to just fill in between the building and the dumpster enclosure at the back of this site. And again, changes to interior pathway materials, maintaining public sidewalks as concrete, and adding EV parking spaces to the property.
Okay, anyone else have questions so far? Comments? Jeff, anything?
No, I've got nothing. Thank you.
Going once, going twice. Does anyone else have any comments that they want to make about this or any questions?
I mean, it's too bad about the asphalt and the shingles, but it seems like something that needs to be done to get it to happen. I'd rather have the housing.
Yeah, that's the opinion of not only Wayfinders, but also obviously the design team. This project has been a challenge. We really want to add this housing to supplement the work we did at Library Commons Phase 1. So we're super psyched that it's getting going, but would have liked to have maintained those elements if we could have.
Yeah, no one loves value engineering, but the housing is important. I'm grateful that you guys have put in so much care in at least tucking the value elements away from the basic look of the buildings for people.
Well, we appreciate that.
So, usual question, do we need a vote to approve this, or is this just a check-in and all is well so far?
I would say that you would need 3 individual votes for the 3 sites, because they were all approved as individual site plan review projects.
Okay, thank you. Then I would entertain 3 motions to approve each one of these in turn. And let me go back to the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the site plan amendment for Building B, 344 Appleton Street?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Gurinder,
yes.
and Rosano.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the site plan review amendments for Library Commons Phase 2, Building C, 188, 190 Chestnut Street?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Gurinder,
Yes.
and Rosano.
yes, ma'am.
And finally, is there a motion to approve the site plan review amendments for Library Commons Phase 2, Building D, 207 Chestnuts, 207 Elm Street?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Gurinder,
yes.
and Rosano.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Again, thank you all very much. And this brings us to anything else that we might have under project updates, old business, new business that isn't on the agenda.
I have nothing else unless the board has any questions about anything specific.
Okay, well, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session for purposes of discussing the litigation for file number 145, 500 East Hampton Road, Sama Realty.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Gurinder,
yes.
Rosano.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to make sure that I know who has the iPhone.
That's Garninder.
That's Gurinder. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we are in executive session. I need everyone to affirm for the sake of the record that we are each alone and nobody can possibly overhear us. And I will affirm that now.
As will I.
Yes.
Yep.
All alone, buddy.
Yep.